Cheers, and welcome to Chicago Reacts. My name is Lauren, and today I'm going to be reacting to Martincitopants' I Built Cities Skyline 2's largest city and then I destroyed it. That is, a mouthful, and I did not say that well, but that's what we're going with, and that's what's going to happen today. Thank you. I'm excited to get into this. I love the messing things up. I love the chaos. I love the destruction. And if you like those things too, make sure that you tell me by hitting like and subscribing to the channel. And now, without any further ado, let us begin.
Hello, sir. Hey! Hello again. Welcome to Poopville. A few weeks ago, the wonderful people over at Paradox Interactive gave me access to an early build of City Skylines 2. And then, they put me on a crane. We'll talk about that later. In City Skylines 2, you build cities, construct townships, move people around with mass transit networks, and try your absolute hardest to not murder hundreds of thousands of people with a tsunami of poop.
Do you really try your absolute hardest not to do that? Is that, in fact, what you try your hardest not to do? I disbelieve it.
Since this is an early pre-release of the game, only a select few people can actually play it, which gave me a devilish idea. Without too much effort, I can probably make the largest city the game has ever seen. And then, I can commit unspeakable atrocities upon my glorious creation. So, let us begin. Wanting to start things off properly, I began the game with tutorials. Move with these keys, tilt the camera with these keys, build roads like this. Zoning. And before I knew it, I had built the beginning of a small town, burgeoning with life, ready to take on the future, inhabited by the brightest of a new generation.
I will say the graphics on this look absolutely amazing. This looks really good. It kind of looks like Google Street View.
A town of bustling opportunities, limitless growth.
Should we take a drink every time Martin does his demon voice? I think maybe we should. We also take drinks whenever he goes a little bit extra, or if there's an explosion, I think. So we'll see if any of the... Well, extra has got to happen. Explosions may or may not.
Yep. That's,
Yes,
yeah.
it is. Yes, it certainly is that. It is 100%. I'm just suddenly also getting sudden recollections of the episode of Welcome to Night Vale where the monolith appears. Wake up.
Unlike the first game, I had no limit on the amount of terraforming I could do, which meant I could do things like this. For this city's road network, I had conceived an incredible solution to traffic: triangles. This amazing technology makes every single intersection in the city 6 ways. You might think this is very stupid, and it is, but what's even stupider is this type of intersection actually exists in real life, and where
It looks like something that would exist in Boston. It definitely looks like a Boston intersection.
else would it exist than beautiful, sunny Los Angeles? The real intersection is even worse than these.
Oh my god. It probably also exists in Boston.
These ones though, because it doesn't have any traffic lights. Just 6 stop signs. What the fuck? With traffic 100% solved, forever, I could move on to more important things, like schools, police stations, water infrastructure, fire stations, and most importantly, somewhere to put all the poo. How about, here. Once the poo had been successfully routed into the poo-cano, it was only a matter of time until it filled.
Ew!
Well, a matter of very long time. I spent about another hour on the city, and by then it had...
Ew, that's disgusting! Why? Skyline? City Skyline? What is wrong with you? I blame the developers. I don't even blame Martincitopants for this, because obviously, if sewage is something that you have to build into your city, someone was gonna do that. That is nasty. What?
Filled to about here. Not very high. And that meant it was time to drink. Placing a water pump inside the poo-cano resulted in fresh poo being delivered directly to people's taps, which caused the entire city to either pack up and leave, or die. Well, Poopville was no more. And with that, we move on to attempt 2. Gentlemen, welcome to Peniston. This city went a little better than Poopville. A little. This time, I spent a bit longer learning the basic principles of the game, and examined things that had been changed from City Skylines 1. Things like much larger, really nice looking service buildings, like this coal plant. Ooh, or this landfill. I checked out the new zoning, pedestrian-only streets, the grid tool, and of course, radio announcements telling you what's going on in the city.
The commercial district is booming.
More radio announcements.
So a housing shortage is bad for the people trying to move here, right?
And my personal favorite,
There's a widespread concern over fears that an insidious underground criminal organization has seized control of the area.
Recent crime stats confirm that the crime wave has certainly gripped our region, and it's showing no signs of letting up.
I don't like the sound of that, Glenda.
We'll be back after this.
fuck! All of this was great. So, I, flattened a bit of land and got to work on the next area. I did a bit of bus stuff, zoned a bunch of housing, built these terrible, awful roads connecting everything, and then people started drinking poo again. Fucking goddamn shit. Attempt 3.
Of course he's got. Okay, wonder how many times that's gonna come up. How many times is he gonna make them drink poop?
Before attempt 3 began, I had a few things to do. Namely, fly all the way to Germany, hang out for a few days, and then get hoisted 50 meters into the air by a crane. Now that we're in position.
Oh my god, what? Oh, that's cool.
It was time to begin our fabulous new city. When naming this new city, I tried to think of a name that inspired greatness. A name that made me think. Gentlemen, behold, the grand city of... This time, I wasn't going to keep messing around. This time, I would research the ins and outs of city building, and I would construct a wonderful, perfect, flawless utopian city. So first things first, I did some research.
I mean, if you could do research like they do in The Matrix, that would make my life so much better. So much better. I wish I could just download information straight to my brain.
And with that research completed, here are my findings. So, we want to build the largest possible city. A city that has an extremely high population, all buying products, driving their car, and most importantly, pooping out their butt. Well, to get to that point, our new city of couldn't just...
Why do we gotta use Skibbity Toilet? Now I'm thinking about Skibbity Toilet. That video's coming soon, guys. I have watched it. It's just not on the schedule.
be a
yet.
huge grid with nothing but apartment buildings. Believe me, I tried. No one moved in. This city needed
It's
to
been
be
abandoned. It's not even that it was no one moved in. It's been abandoned by its occupants. People lived there and then decided they'd rather be homeless.
attractive. People had to actually want to move in. And that substantially complicates things. So, why would a citizen want to move here? Well, maybe they've got a good job, or the amenities are nice, the shops sell cool stuff, the city services are reliable, it's safe, there are dudes that be selling that good Zaza, plenty of crack, a nice, pleasant location to gamble away my kid's college fund, hookers on every street corner. The reasons one might want to live in a city are truly endless. So we have to try to accommodate as many as possible. First and foremost, they need somewhere to live. So let's build some roads, zone them for low-density residential, and wait. Hooray! Our first citizen, the Poo Man. If I wanted the Poo Man to actually stay in this city, I needed to build a few service buildings. A groundwater pump for pumping groundwater. A windmill for milling wind. An industrial sector for people to work at. And then I had to decide on a place to put the poo. Yeah, I'll put it here. Once that was all done, I zoned a few more things, and then just sort of sat back and watched my creation do its magic. I even found a dog.
Doggy!
Bark.
And there we go. Our first milestone. Ooh. This milestone unlocked a few new service buildings. I placed down a medical clinic, a cemetery, an elementary school, a landfill.
I like that the medical clinic and the cemetery are unlocked at the same time. I just feel like that is a level of irony I can get behind.
The city of
It's sort of like, or it's like the general hilarity of, there is a old folks home near where I live, and it's like across the street from a cemetery. And I'm just like, that seems cruel. Why? Just make them, like, their window just faces their inevitable, like, next house. Is just, that would suck.
The city of was definitely making me go With the city now growing quite quickly, came even more unlocked. Roundabouts, fire stations, police stations, higher density housing, specialized industry, and before I knew it, had reached 1,000 population. And nighttime. Nighttime in this game looks quite nice. Now, the build I was playing on was quite an early one, which meant it came with a few bugs here and there. My favorite of which being gas stations with, rather powerful lights. So, what next? Well, now the city had reached 1,000 population, I had to do something truly awful. I had to start thinking. You see, in the first game, all big cities had one common struggle: traffic. If I wanted the city to be truly huge, I had to get on top of traffic before it became an issue. So of course, I did some more research. Holy shit! Roads. Roads on the surface may seem simple enough. Get them wrong, and disaster will follow. So, how do you not get them wrong? Well, by following a few basic principles of road networks. First being, roadway hierarchy. You probably already have a vague idea of what this means. Obviously, a highway has a pretty different purpose than the road that goes to your house. The hierarchy goes like this: highways, then arterial roads, then collectors, and then local roads. They don't necessarily need different numbers of lanes or higher speed or really anything distinguishing them. The distinction is more about where they are in the network than what they actually look like. Each step down the hierarchy trades off mobility, or how fast you can get from point A to B, with access, or how many things you can put on that road. Local roads have the highest access, but lowest mobility, while highways have the highest mobility with the lowest access. Speaking of highways, hey, here's a highway.
This would be wild. Imagine driving on that road and looking up and just seeing this, like, platform of gamers above you. Like, oh my, that would be, it feels dangerous. It feels like, okay, I mean, I'm more or less okay with the billboards. The ones that change constantly unnerve me, because I feel like, I mean, the ones that had, like, the slats were always fun, but, like, the ones that are, like, the LEDs that are always constantly changing, that feels dangerous. Not as bad as, like, the cars that have that on the road. That's the worst. But, like, sometimes I'm like, you know what? Just putting something giant and weird above a highway feels dangerous to me.
Right there. So, back to the city of... We can see that these basic road principles have already been used. This road here is an arterial road. We've got some collectory looking dudes off to the side here, and all our houses are placed nicely along local roads. Next up, another neighborhood. An arterial road up here, and... wonderful. As our city grew larger, we unlocked even more stuff. This stuff is quite important, since we need to keep our citizens happy so more move in. In order to keep our citizens happy, I had devised a devious plan. Fuck time. With the city sufficiently...
I hope that man was okay, but it was very funny to watch him tumble.
Lathered in parks, I could add...
Maybe we should drink whenever I'm a terrible person.
more stuff. An industrial area here, some mixed-use developments over here, a college here, an experimental pedestrian-only street with shops over here, and before I knew it, 5,000 population. At this point in the game, issues start cropping up, like our cash flow is still negative, or there's a little bit of traffic, or there's a giant forest fire bearing down on the city. Yeah, I'm sure all that's fine. We're gonna take the noble path and completely ignore it. You see, in city skylines, road design and layout will only get you so far in fighting traffic. The best way to stop jams is for there to be no cars there in the first place. Gentlemen, it was time to busy ourselves with public transit. At our small scale, we only really have the capacity to add buses. So we'll
Maybe we should start a rule where we drink every time there's a nasty bodily fluid expelled from somebody. Probably not. That's probably dangerous.
add some buses. I remember first playing City Skylines 1 and spamming the shit out of buses absolutely everywhere. Doing this resulted in bus lines that look something like this. Now yes, this line does in fact service a lot of people, but if you live here and want to go here, instead of the bus going straight there, it goes here, then around here, and then stops here, and finally arrives here. This system is dumb.
But realistic.
It's far better to have a bus that just goes from one point to another in the city and then stops in between. With that said, here's my first bus route. It takes people from the apartments to the industrial area and back. Simple. Now of course, the whole point of doing this is to allow people to get around without using their car. The vast majority of people, when given the choice between a bus and a car, all else equal, will almost always choose a car. This is great if you want your city to look like this, but I don't. So we need to make the bus a viable alternative. We can do this with bus lanes to prioritize bus traffic, or by not providing parking near the destination so they can't drive there.
That's brilliant! People should do that in real life. Just, like, at least in America, where where public transit kind of sucks. If you want to make public transit more viable, you have to do things that make it more appealing to take the public transit. So, getting rid of giant parking lots, kind of brilliant.
What's more important, however, is that the public transit system has layers to it. Public transit isn't just buses. It's also trams, metro, ferries, trains, and even aircraft. All these systems should mesh together to provide a viable alternative to just getting in your car and driving to your destination. The end result? Well, hopefully, not this.
I feel like he's just showing video of, like, Hong Kong.
The beginnings of our public transit network laid out came rezoning. If I wanted this city to be the largest the game had ever seen, these single-family homes were no good. In their place, I zoned for mixed use, which are just apartment blocks with shops on the bottom. Instead of housing 4 or 5 people, mixed-use developments can house 60 to 80. Of course, I couldn't rezone everything at once, so I just did it gradually. Bulldozing Grandma's house, only every so often. With more population, once again, came more unlocks. This time, we'd unlocked the office space. Why work in a dangerous, hazardous manufacturing job when you can just sit on a computer and slap a keyboard for 8 hours a day? Hey, wait a minute. Offices have a few advantages over industry. The important one being, they don't produce pollution. This means that we can place them wherever we want. They also employ a higher proportion of educated workers. This is good when your city has a high level of education. Mine doesn't, but it's nice to think that maybe someday it will. In the meantime, though...
Keep dreaming, Martin. Keep dreaming.
The citizens needed to be put back to work. Oh shit. In particular, we needed more industry. Perhaps like this chemical plant building thing, which looks really cool and want to drink whatever funny liquid it produces.
How long did this bit take? Oh my god. His like little frog guy animations have gotten really, really good. And that is how you make the Joker. Or Harley Quinn. You know. Just saying. Just saying. That's how you get a Harley.
Oh, fuck. In that time I spent doing, whatever it was that I was doing, the city had managed to pass the 15,000 population milestone. Nice. Oh yeah, and I was, still on the crane. Guys, it's been a long time, guys. Can you please let me down, please, guys? Everything in was going perfectly. The commercial district was...
The commercial district is booming as the...
Industry was on the rise.
Industry in the region is on the rise, and when
A housing shortage was driving up prices in the area.
housing shortage is driving up prices in the area.
Oh my god, yes, I get it. Do these radio announcers ever shut the fuck up?
No, Martin. We don't shut up.
Ugh, that was unsettling. Ooh, that's weird. I don't like it. Change it back.
Martin, time is running out. The citizens demanded Martin. The citizens want Pooh. Martin, the Poocano is calling.
No, why are you
Martin,
saying this?
The
No, this isn't
Poocano
right. Stop,
is
please.
calling.
Stop.
Martin,
Stop, please.
Bill,
Please stop.
Giant
Go away.
Shark,
What are you
Bill,
talking about? I like the city.
Bill,
Please.
Bill,
What are you
Bill,
talking
Bill,
about?
Bill,
No, I don't want to fight with Pooh. No. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Well, I hit this new milestone. Yippee! Built this bridge thing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Martin.
Okay.
I really like that, actually. That's really cool.
Okay, well, maybe we should try a port. You know, because it's got, like, the funny. You know, the funny. You know, the funny water vehicle. You know, the funny. So I made a port. Now the city has shipping access. Hooray! Okay, how about a train yard and some trains? Alrighty, bam, trains. A stop over here, some tunnels connecting them all. This cool train bridge thing. Nice. How about a metro? Metro stations, tunnels, metro lines. The attractiveness of was truly off the charts. And in the next couple of hours of playing, the population ballooned from 15,000 to 50,000 people. This, once again, unlocked a swath of new high-density buildings. So to cram even more people into my more and more limited space, I zoned a bunch of high-rises. Was well on its way to city glory. But this huge influx did in fact cause a few issues. Namely, traffic. With so many people moving in all at once, car traffic coming into the city was truly huge. So to combat this, I came up with a genius idea. A wonderful, pleasant, beautiful urban highway. Currently, there's only one access point into the city, but with our wonderful new urban highway and this cool bridge, there was now two. Okay, highways are cool and all that, but what's the best way to merge a highway with another road? Gentlemen, it's time to dive into the wonderful world of interchanges. So, you're an urban planner, and you've got a problem. You've got this big road going this way, and another big road going this way. How do you join them together? Well, with an interchange. There are several to choose from, and they all serve slightly different purposes. Trumpet interchange, three-way directional interchange, single-point urban interchange, cloverleaf, partial cloverleaf, diverging diamond, and everyone's favorite concrete abomination, the stack interchange.
Is that an LA thing? That looks like maybe an LA thing.
Some of these interchanges are meant for moving traffic from one highway to another, like the stack interchange, while others are made for taking traffic off the highway and putting it onto a more accessible road. This is what we want for our new highway, so for this job I chose the diamond interchange. Well, a pretty basic and honestly shit version of one, but a diamond interchange nonetheless. I repeated this basic shit design down the length of our wonderful stretch of road and ended up with this. Once that was done, it was time to build a cool bridge all the way back to the mainland and connect it up to the highway down there. This requires another interchange. Hooray! For this job, we're using a three-way directional interchange. As the title says, it's three ways, directional, and an interchange.
Huh.
Yeah. Anyway,
Fancy
with
that.
that placed down, this wonderful new section of highway is open for business. And you know what that means? More expansion. More expansion, of course, meaning huge influxes of new people. In just a few hours, the city managed to go from 50,000 population all the way up to 90,000. Huge swaths of new people making their way into the city via our new highway proved very quickly that the interchanges I had designed were in fact very bad, and I should feel bad about it. Fucking idiot, fucking stupid dumbass. Not to worry though, because one of my intercity trains I had the foresight of building was doing some serious heavy lifting. A couple of them were even full, holding 800 passengers each. All 800 of which got off at one station, causing this wonderful cascade of bodies to come flooding out, filling the streets like some sort of gelatinous liquid. Beautiful. And with that, more expansion. I built more neighborhoods, and more thousands of people flocked to me. Tram lines, highways, thousands of spaces for new buildings. It was only a matter of time before the population skyrocketed yet again. Yeah, except it, didn't. For whatever reason, people had decided enough was enough, and they didn't want to move in anymore. What's worse is, for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why. Mousing over the citizen happiness meter revealed that citizens in my city were having a wonderful time. Lots of wealth, reliable city services, and no poo in the drinking water. Yet, this city was just good. So why then was no one moving in? During this whole time of expanding the city, I had assumed that offices are just plain better than industrial areas. You see, offices can be placed anywhere, so I'd just been placing them wherever I pleased. Typically, right next to residential, so people wouldn't have to travel far for work. Unfortunately, there's a limit. At some point, people get sick of their keyboard slapping and need manufacturing jobs. So I gave them what they wanted, and holy shit, a nice influx of tens of thousands of people. I passed over 100,000, then over 150. People were literally dying to get to my city. And, predictably,
waiting for a hearse is an... Okay, alright, City Skylines. City's Skyline. I hate that. City's Skyline. That's terrible.
the traffic was really bad. I expanded so much that I'd filled up the barrier island. I expanded down to the mainland, filling it with a huge, expansive suburbia. I built over 100 elementary schools. The population grew still. I built these cool university buildings, the Large Hadron Collider, this needle-looking thing, and the population grew still. International airport, more suburbia, nuclear energy, more industry, trams, trains, more suburbia, highways, skyscrapers, incineration plants, more suburbia, infrastructure of all shapes and sizes. The city grew, and grew, and grew. And here we are, fellas. 300,000 citizens. I'm pretty confident this is the largest city ever built in City Skylines 2. Now,
For now. It's new, right?
let me ask you a question. What are 300,000 people good at? Maybe making a lot of money, or using lots of incineration plants, or perhaps producing lots of digital goods. Yes, they are good at all of those things, but they're most good at one thing in particular. They are good at pooping. Gentlemen, I present to you the purpose of this city, what everything has been leading up to. I present the Poocano.
This is gonna be like the molasses thing in Boston, but so much worse. Wow.
In the ensuing Poonami, the entirety of was destroyed. Only one single person remained. The Poo Man. If you'd like to beat my record and claim even more lives, pre-order this fantastic game with my link. Goodbye.
Well, that was quite a lot. That was quite a lot. Oh my god. This man, I swear. Well, we love him for a reason, huh? See, it's one of those things too where I'm just like, this seems awesome. And I would have a lot of fun designing something terrible, but I don't think I'd spend that much time on it. Like, even when I play The Sims, I can spend like a max of 3 days playing, and then I'm done, and not even that long on each day, honestly. Like, I'll play, and like I always have a fun time, like, creating the house and the characters, and then I enjoy occasionally messing with the characters, like locking them inside rooms and stuff in order to make sure that they pay attention to each other. and get over their silly arguments they're having. Because I don't speak Simlish, so I don't know. But, like, I can only ever do it for about 3 days. I think, like, 15 hours or so is usually about my cutoff when then I'm done. So I'm always just so impressed. I'm always just so impressed with people like Martin, who can spend this much time playing games like this, and like, I mean, he really figured this out too. Like, his city was gorgeous, so you know, good job. I always have fun with these videos, so thanks again so much for watching. If you want to see more stuff like this, make sure you hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. You can also check out our other channels in the description box below. We have an anime channel as well as a like a learning channel. Well, it's called Americans Learn. We do some stuff like we do history and science and such on there, but we also do comedy and music and all sorts of fun stuff. So if you're interested in that, check us out in the description box, and I will see you all in the next one.